And then finally, my closing thoughts to share with you today include looking back a couple weeks where I reflected on how I'm learning to reach for personal, emotional, and spiritual resilience during this COVID-19 pandemic. And you may remember that I shared thoughts about us being mindful and creating new routines, reinventing self-care, and then we have to reflect, relate, and reframe all that is coming at us. Well, today I'm going to take you outside and into a new routine that I've established for myself that has become very life-giving to my daily life. Now, most in our community know that I'm a multimodal, bicycle-emphasized commuter, and that I zigzag to more than a dozen meetings a week and then commute home every month of the year, even in the winter, with studded, big, thick tires on my bike. But now that we have virtual meetings, well, I'm only commuting between the floors of my house. And so I've had to rethink, how do I get exercise? How do I experience the outdoors in ways that are different than bicycle commuting? Well, I've established a new routine where I get up before dawn and I head out on my bike, but not quite as rushed as when commuting to multiple appointments in the downtown sector. And I also stop more frequently, get off my bike, sit on a bench, reflect, stretch, think, pray. And my days have begun to be really beautifully grounded and more reflective toward the love of God for all things, and also just the simplicity of me being human. Now, I am a novice videographer, but I invite you now into part of my new routine with the hopes that it may provide some creative spark for how you are creating new routines in your life that connect you to God, connect you to one another, connect you to yourself, and connect you to all that is. You may wonder what pre-dawn bicycling means, because it's dark. And what it means here is I sit on the southern edge of Makaska, a lake in South Minneapolis, is that you have a bike with a front light, you have a bike with a tail light that blinks, you have a water bottle that has heated water because it's still cold, and then I have a light on my helmet that is movable. So that once you get on the bike, you're able to have light on your helmet as you turn to look at something, and a stable light on the front rack to ensure that you're paying attention to the road in front of you and people who are coming toward you, so that it can be safe, so that it can be quiet, beautiful, but mostly safe. This is one of the places where I stop, usually the first stop on the pre-dawn to post-dawn journey on most mornings of the week. And I usually take this first stop to check in with my body, to limber up, to loosen up, make sure my shoulders aren't getting tight, hips and legs, all the things that are kind of the pressure points for bicycling, but also to breathe, to take time to breathe and center myself as the day is beginning. But mostly this stop and this point of the journey is about paying attention to my body. This is Lake of the Isles, and I'm standing on a bridge that has a beautiful lookout. And what I learned from this space and tried to pause and reflect on in this space is the receding of the ice. With every day, you can see it soften, you can see water gather at the edges, or I should say water be revealed at the edges as the ice recedes. And of course, watching the sunrise, paying attention to the wildlife, paying attention to all the people who are walking or biking near me, and recognizing that time is moving forward, and as cracks in the ice become eventually gaps in the ice, spring is coming. Then there's the ride itself, moving my way around the lakes. Usually early enough there aren't a lot of people. Taking time, not on a race, at least mostly not on a race. Paying attention on days that are rainy, where the rain is falling. Paying attention to the change from winter to spring. The living and dead parts of living trees, knowing there's both. Breathing, moving carefully, especially aware and a little more awake. This is traditionally my last stop of the morning ride, and it's interesting because what you see behind me there is a bus at a stoplight, and I oftentimes catch that bus, put my bike on it, which brings me downtown for work. And also it's a place of still the lakes and the trails and the little bog area here where just a week ago, as the ice was melting, I saw the first sort of V behind duck in the water as it was melting. And I like this place because it doesn't really have a panoramic view, but it reminds me of both my work life and my recreation life and how things come together, sometimes in very complicated ways, but that in the midst of that, I'm still me and I'm still human.